All right, guys, this problem here says, given the equation over here in red of this parabola, we need to name the following, vertex, focus, and so on, as well as graph this parabola. And to do this, we need to put it into standard form. So there's two types of standard form with parabolas, and that's either going to be if it's up and down or left and right. And to determine which way is which depends on whether your x's are squared or your y's are squared. All right, in this case, we have an x value squared, but it doesn't look like this at all. Okay, we need to make it look like that. And to do so, we need to complete the square over on this right side. Now, sometimes this is easier said than done. In this case, this is a pretty easy one because x, 10, and the 25 all line up nicely to write this as the quantity x plus 5 quantity squared, okay? If you forgot how to complete the square, I'll put a video up here for you. Otherwise, that's what that side will look like, okay? Now, the other side, the right side of this equation, also needs a set of parentheses, and right now we don't have that. So to get that, we need to factor something out and be left with something in a set of parentheses. And I think what I can factor out here is a -8, leaving me with y minus 3. Okay, so now this looks like our bottom case. It's going to be one that's either up or down for its opening, where our x values are squared, the 4p that's kind of corresponding with the -8, and so on. All right, so let's see if we can name these and then throw it onto the graph and see what this actually looks like for the parabola. First off, the vertex. Well, this is going to be our h and k, or the parts that go with our x and y here. And in other words, this is -5 for our x and +3 for the y value. All right. If I were to graph this, in fact, let me move this over just a little bit so I have room on my graph. This is what I say, -5, 3. There we go. Because I think this is back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up 1, 2, 3. Okay, about right there for the vertex of this thing. Now, we also need to find, before I can do the focus, I need to find the p value. The p value of this one, well, again, that's the p comes in front of the second set of parentheses, and it says 4p right there equals this. So I can say 4p equals -8. And if I solve for p here, divide both sides by 4, p is going to be a -2. All right, so my p value is a -2, which means since it's negative, this one's going to open down. All right, so I'm going to go down to, and the distance in between those, this is actually what p is. The spot that I just drew here, that's actually the focus. And that's the point -5, 1. All right, so -5, 1. We found another part here is our focus. That value is p. Now in the opposite direction, so this was -2 going down. If I go up 2, so this way, right there, and make a line that is perpendicular to those other 2 dots, that's called the directrix. And you'll notice that it crosses my y-axis here at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so I'm going to say the line y equals 5 is the directrix. Okay? The axis of symmetry, well, perpendicular to those two, or to the directrix and going through those 2 dots, that is my axis of symmetry. You can see it crosses right there at x equals -5. So x equals -5 is the axis of symmetry. And then lastly, we already said this is going to open down because it kind of goes around our focus from our vertex. So I'll draw a little one. I know I kind of have some stuff over here, but I'm not too particular when it comes to graphing a parabola, just as long as it's opening the right way. For my students, that's all I care about. And so anyway, this equation up here in red eventually became this parabola when we graphed it. And so hopefully this video helped you out. If it did, please help me out by liking it down below, subscribing to my channel if you're not already subscribed. Then also you might find this video helpful as you do more parabola problems here in the future. See you guys in the next one.